Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me today at the special live organized by StoryScrapers. I am Dr. Sheena Gupta, your host for today. I am a pathologist by profession, but love listening, telling, writing, and reading stories. Any writing platform's success is governed by its participants. And we at StoryScrapers are very thankful to all of you brilliant writers who have bestowed immense love on our platform through your beautiful stories, soulful poems, blogs, and various other writings. Today's live is one of a kind where we start a series where we felicitate our most creative writers who have been consistent with us throughout our journey ever since the conception of StoryScrapers. So kindly all of you, put your hands together for the guest that I'm now going to welcome, Vasudha Pansare, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Namaskar, and
evening.
so welcome to the
Namaskar.
platform.
I'm very, very happy to be here, Sheena.
And we are so happy to have you, ma'am.
It's really a wonderful platform. I have loved writing for Story Scrapers. I'm very, very thankful to this platform.
So let me start by introducing Vasudha Pansare, ma'am. She has retired as head, Department of English, Bishop Cotton Women's Christian College, Bangalore, and now is enjoying her retirement to the fullest, engaging in several creative activities such as reading, writing reviews, and poetry. She has been writing poetry for a long time, but has only now decided to publish her poems. Her poems are simple, in free verse, straight from the heart, and present a positive view of the world. Her poems have been included in several anthologies, and she has won prizes for her poems on various platforms. Masks and Other Poems, Leaves of Autumn, Eventide, and The Leaf and Other Poems are some of the books written by her and are available on Amazon Kindle. I'll urge all of you to go through them. Welcome once again, ma'am. Now I would
Thank you.
like to
Thank you, sir.
welcome my second guest, Shakuntala Kanakgiri, ma'am. Namaskar, ma'am. Good evening and welcome to our show. Our guests have huge list of achievements and their accolades are many. So if I were to describe each of them, our evening would just fly by without having a good conversation with them. So I'm going to go briefly regarding each one of them. So Shakuntala Kanakgiri ma'am is a postgraduate in sociology, a graduate in home science, and B.Ed. She has served as a teacher and part-time lecturer. She has published 2 volumes of devotional songs called Kuntala Manasa Ramam and Kuntala Manasa Vani in Telugu. She has been featuring in a number of Facebook blogging platforms and has won several contests on various blogging platforms. Her writings have also featured in many national and international anthologies. She has a strong passion for Hindustani and Carnatic classic music, and she believes in the profound quote, where words fail, music speaks. Such a true thing, ma'am. Music is so soulful, it can touch every heart where words fail. Let me now welcome my third guest for tonight, Lakshmi Ajoy. Good evening, Lakshmi. Good evening, Lakshmi. Welcome to our platform. How are you doing? Lakshmi is BA, BSc Hospitality Management, MA in History and B.Ed. Her additional qualifications are that she's a certified tarot card reader, certified past life regression therapist, and she's currently pursuing a certificate in flower remedies course. She's an entrepreneur and holistic spiritual healer, and she considers herself a student for life. She has a keen eye for detail and spends her free time creating meditative mandala arts and gardening. She also is an extensive reader and enjoys reading works on the science fictions and mysteries. Her most favorite poet is 13th century Persian poet Rumi. She believes that there is beauty in every creation, and her written works are a soulful expression of her beautiful life experiences. It's a dream to publish a couple of simple books on her life experiences that she's working on fervently. We look forward to reading your books, Lakshmi. And my fourth guest for tonight is Preeti Agarwal. Good evening, Preeti. So nice to see you.
Good evening. Namaste. Yeah, I'm delighted to be here.
Preeti Agarwal is a homemaker, a mother, a writer, a passionate poet, a blogger, and a creative being learning and journeying. She loves to explore new opportunities of life through reading, traveling, and enjoy of simple living. I am indeed elated to have you all here and would love to engage in a wonderful conversation with you all. So let me start. I'll have a set of common questions, and I would like to all of you to describe them one by one. So we'll start with Vasudha Pansare, ma'am. Ma'am, please share something about your writing journey with us. How did it start?
I used to write ever since I was in school. My writing started in school. I used to contribute to school magazines, and then later in college also I used to contribute to college magazines. And then when I started working, my schedule used to be so busy as a lecturer, and then later an associate professor, and then professor at a college. My profession was very demanding. So there was no time to write actually. Though I used to scribble a few poems now and then, but I never thought of publishing till I retired. So only after retirement, I took up writing as a full-time job. And now I have published 4 books.
That's great, ma'am. That's great.
That's lovely.
Thank you.
Shakuntala, ma'am, I'll pose the same question to you. How did
Yeah,
your writing journey start?
yeah. First of all, thank you for having me here. And it was such a warm welcome, Dr. Sheena Gupta. Thank you so much. I cannot pinpoint and say that very consciously I entered it into this writing field. It so happened that it's call it serendipity. I just chanced upon some kind of a contest, and I ended up writing something over that, and I forgot about it. Then I suddenly saw one day that there was a series of contests in that, and I happened to top that contest, and that was when I realized, oh, such portals also do exist. Until then, I was so naive that I didn't even know that there was something called, literary groups and all. So then it just sort of carried on one after the other, and believe me, I didn't know that so many portals are there. Even today I'm really shocked and amazed to see such beautiful groups out over there. So that's how my journey started, and I started writing for a few portals, and then I got invites from several places, and I ended up from here to there. So it was not a serious thinking, or like I must become a writer. I just wrote and I liked it, and ever since I've been into it. That's how.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Lakshmi, when did you start writing?
Okay, so thank you so much, StoryScrapers and Dr. Sheena, for such a wonderful introduction and introducing me to this platform here today. So, my story writing or writing journey began when I was a child of about 7 or 8 years old. I was highly inspired by my maternal grandfather, who was a prolific writer himself and had written for several magazines, newspapers in those times. So from there, the journey started, and he was always my role model and someone who constantly kept inspiring me to learn more and taught me so many beautiful life lessons. I think that is where I take my inspiration from, and I have never looked behind. Of course, I was introduced to popular platforms like StoryScrapers and many other platforms very recently. That is in around November 2021 last year. And fortunately for me, I have been accepted warmly on all these platforms. I'm totally
And
grateful
your
for
work
that.
is
Thank
very
you so
good.
much. Thank you.
Priti, do you have a literary background or you have just started of late?
No, thank you, Sheena, for such a warm welcome, and my grateful thanks to Story Scrapers for having me here. Yeah, I am not from any literary background. Writing happened me miraculously with me, you know. Yeah, I started my writing journey in 2020 with Notion Press platform. They were
Okay,
conducting a contest, Write Your Heart Out challenge. So I
okay,
just registered myself there and won that contest. One of my poem got selected in their anthology, and when I received that anthology, I cannot express, you know, and
yeah,
it was an immense joy for me. Yeah,
indeed.
ineffable joy actually. An overwhelming experience to having a book with my poem, you know. And yes, that pushed me to write my own book, and I that encouraged me a lot, you know. Then I started writing my own book, and
That's
yeah, I published it in December 2020 through Notion
okay.
Press only. It is a 2020 a journey within, journey of a homemaker. So it is all
That's
about my journey of 2020. Yeah, and very soon I started writing. I started working for my second book. I compiled all my poems written during that particular time, and published my poetry book Inner Urge in May 21 through
that's
Notion
great.
Press publishing platform.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So
Would you
that way I started writing, and yeah.
perhaps would you would like to
Yes,
tell
Sheena.
our viewers? I said you would like to tell us, viewers, where is it? Where are your books available? Are they available on
Yeah,
Amazon?
it is in Amazon. It is available on Amazon. Yes, it is available on
Exactly.
Amazon.
Must go
And
and read
yes, right now,
these books.
what?
Tell me more.
Sorry, Dr. Sheena, you are not very clear to me. That's why.
Okay. I said, tell us more about your journey. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Should I
Okay.
continue?
Yeah, yeah, please do.
Yeah. So, uh, yes, and my works have been published in many anthologies as well in different publications. And right now, I am enjoying blogging in Times of India, in Mom's Presso, and of course, our very own Story Scrapers and many other platforms actually.
That's great.
So this way I
Very,
started. Yes, I'm very passionate about my writing. So yes,
very
I am on. Thank you.
great. Another question that I would like to pose Vasudha ma'am is now, what are the writers that you enjoyed reading as a child? Who
I
are the writers?
remember,
What?
yeah, I
Yeah,
remember when I was in primary school, I started with fairy tales, like all my
that we all
classmates and
do.
friends, fairy tales, and then various comics, and then I was I was pulled into the world of Enid Blyton. I don't think there's any book I haven't read. I have read all the books that she has written, and I have read some of the books more than 5 times, more than 10 times. So that was what I read as a child. And then, of course, in college, there were uh, many mystery writers, uh, thrillers like James Hadley Chase, Earl Stanley Gardner, and Harold Robbins, and so many bestsellers I used to read in college. And romance writers, of course, like Georgette Hare. She wrote so beautifully. I still enjoy her books. And later, when I took up literature, it was all the writers of British literature, and writers of American literature, writers of African literature. I remember one novel that made such an impact on me, Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, a very great novelist of Nigeria. And then I read a bit of Australian literature also, but mostly it was British literature. Jane Austen, uh, then George Eliot, and uh, a lot of poetry. Again, T.S. Eliot, Wordsworth, Coleridge. So all those were poets I enjoyed. And recently, of course, I love reading Vikram Seth's poetry. I love his
Yeah,
fiction also. Vikram Seth's poetry is beautiful. His novels also I have read. I think two of them I have read. His epic novel about India, post-independent India, that I've read twice. And Unequal Music is also a very beautiful novel. And I think Vikram Seth's novel was on Netflix also. It was made into a series of, I think, 6 episodes. I love reading Vikram Seth. And recently, I've been reading British writers like Rosamund Pilcher, then Marcia Willett, Maeve Binchy, and a lot of writers also, like Ruth Rendell. Yeah, I love reading. Mostly, I love reading British writers. I love their
that's great.
language. Uh,
So, Shakuntala ma'am, who are the writers who have inspired you the most?
Yeah, Shina, like Vasta ma'am. Yes, my younger days, if I recall, I loved reading, the fables and all those Panchatantra tales, Chandamamas, and those comics and all those mythological stories and funny stories would come in the form of those thin comic books and all.
Comic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chandamama, of course, in Telugu, my father used to get them. We used to read that in Telugu as well as in English. Then, yeah, subsequently, college days, Mills and Boons, I read. I think
yes.
I've exhausted so many books of that. But yes, I did read Ayn Rand's, three of Ayn Rand's books, We the Living, Fountainhead, and The Night of January 16th. I
These
love
are
those
wonderful.
books. I didn't read all her works, but those were some of the books I read. Then, yes, Gone with the Wind, Margaret Mitchell's Gone with the Wind, I read. And yeah, Deepak Chopra's, and in between there was some constructive, it kind of, they used to give all good thing, mention all behavioral patterns and all they used to talk about, So such books I did read, and yeah, I loved reading a little bit of Shiv Khera also. But the problem is I don't remember. Then only when I start reading again, then I can recollect the entire story. Yeah, so that way, but basically, now I'm more interested into collecting anecdotes and all. I love to read, those very good, whether they are of people of science origin or whether they are artists or all. There are so many anecdotes associated with so many successful people and all. They are really very inspiring and very beautifully written. So I love reading, gathering such anecdotes. And I had this habit of jotting down so many quotations or sayings of Khalil Gibran, Buddha quotes, and so many people like that. So I still maintain a diary. Of late, of course, I've not entered. So all this is full of my quotes and quotations and anecdotes and my reflections on it and all. So I love doing that. So I won't say I'm a
It's a good.
prolific reader in that sense, but yes, I love to read some devotional books, or some mythological stories, and of course, yes. Apart from that, these stories I mean books I just mentioned. So yes, been dabbling in bit of reading all kinds. Not to the extent I can say that, oh, I'm a bookworm, or not in that sense. But yes, I did read some amount of it. Like,
Lakshmi, you've told us that you love science fiction and mysteries. So give us a list of those authors that who inspired you the most.
Hands down, it was Robin Cook for me. For all those books of Robin Cook, I've exhausted the entire list, starting from Coma to everything there. And it was wonderful because I always aspired to be a doctor when I was a child. I have no regrets though that I couldn't pursue medicine because I'm a spiritual healer today, doing much better than what a doctor can possibly in that arena. So I'm healing lives, reaching out to people. So yes, Robin Cook was definitely one of my favorites. But as a younger child, when I was in school, it was all those Indian comics like Chanda Mama and Tinkle and like the Gokulam series which used to come up in the south. I used to subscribe to those and get them on a regular basis and read them all out. And of course, Chacha Chowdhury and all that, those little comics that used to come up. They used to be my favorite. And Enid Blyton, I used to live in a fairy tale world. Sometimes I used to imagine myself visiting those fantasy lands up the faraway tree. And yes, they were one of my favorites. I probably read them over and over again, like Vasudha Man says. I have read them plenty number of times. And of course, when it came to mystery, Nancy Drew series were one of my favorites. Hardy Boys too, Famous Five. So they were some of the most favorite. And as I grew up, of course, it turned on to more looking at a perspective of Indian authors and mythological angles like Amish Tripathi and Anand Neelakantan and Chitra Banerjee Divakarani. So they are the authors who kind of introduced me to the world of mythology and Indian mythology in particular, making me look at or bring about a different perspective of how a story could be very different from what it is narrated to the general eye. So it gave me a different perspective, and I really enjoyed doing that. I still enjoy doing that. And of course, Khalil Gibran and Rumi. Rumi is my personal favorite. I always read all his poems and works, and I think it really inspires to understand and love the self, accept the self. It's so beautiful, the work. And of course, like Shakuntala ma'am says, there's those anecdotes and quotes that keep coming up, motivates and brings out the positive aspects of life. Definitely brings me a high. That is where I take all my inspiration from.
Wonderful. Coming to you, Preeti.
Yes. Frankly speaking, during my childhood, I didn't like much reading apart from my academics. I love to play more and watch TV and all. But yes, whenever I got chance to be in the school library, I used to read geography books very much. I was very fond of geography, and yes, Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, those books, fairy lands, and yes, Panchatantra, fable stories, all these fascinated me. And right now, I am a very intense reader. I read many books, and I love to explore. I am not much interested in fiction books, but yes, all non-fiction and wisdom books I read a lot.
Okay, that's great. So my next question is actually a set of two, in which I would ask you all to describe your favorite genre of writing poetry and also the one that you find difficult or the one you that
I can't hear you, Dr. Sheena.
Can the others hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. I think there's a poor connection.
I can't hear anyone.
Okay. So, ma'am, maybe you would like to check your connection, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
You can hear me, but I can't hear any one of you. Huh? Volume. Hey, volume full hai. काय problem?
We can hear you very clearly, ma'am.
नहीं बगा. Just have a look at this. Mute नहीं है. Mute. It's on.
Ma'am, we are able to hear you. Can you hear us now?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Oh,
I think I'll join again. I'll join again.
Yeah, please do that.
Magata, how to go out?
So I'll first pose the question to Shakuntala ma'am. And this question is a set of two questions. So your favorite genre of poetry writing and the one that you're actually maybe scared of or you wouldn't like to venture into that.
Yeah. That's a tough take, actually. My kind of style of writing, I would say it's a freestyle. I prefer, like without any trappings and without any specifications and all. That's why I love to write to these prompts, which are just very spontaneous. And you can write within a given frame of, okay, 100 words or 50 words or whatever, but still I love to write that. I have written poems which ran into even 40 stanzas and 38 stanzas also. That was again a freestyle only. But a few of them I did try haiku, I did write sonnets, and I did like write villanelle and all, very briefly. But mostly
I've
I'd
read,
love to,
read
yeah. Mostly I'd love to, spontaneously react to something which is not, it doesn't come with all kinds of trappings that so many syllables count and so many words count. And then most of my mind is only settling on how many words are there, tuck, 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 tuck. I'll keep on doing that. And then I'll be counting the syllables, sitting and doing this. And I'm
that's so
lost all over,
relatable.
that's
So
that's
I
the
prefer
fun of
freestyle.
poetry and is then lost in the technicalities.
Yeah. So I
I
prefer,
agree
like
completely.
the flow
I
has to be
agree
continuous. Like, the moment you start thinking of other things, then the words also stop coming to you, at the right time there. So there will be a disbalance, there will be a disconnect, and somehow you will not get the format properly. I feel that way. I may be right, I may be wrong, but that's how I feel. So I prefer mostly
Yeah,
freestyle of writing, but I have tried, in
completely.
several contests
Yes.
when the requirements are such, I have tried those also. But the most I'm comfortable that I feel is the freestyle writing. Yeah, and mine
that's
is
good.
basically, it's with the rhythm and meter, and you might have seen that there's a lot of rhyming also in my poem. Mostly, I stick to that. I think very rarely I wrote without a rhyme there. So it follows that rhythm and meter pattern, freestyle, and whatever comes. If there's no limit, then I can sometimes write to 10 stanzas, 15 stanzas also. Otherwise, stick to the specifications given there. That's how.
Good, ma'am. Yeah. So Vasudha ma'am, I'll repeat the question for you. The question
Yeah.
is about your favorite genre of poetry writing and the one that you wouldn't want to venture into.
Okay. I love free verse. As Shakuntala said, there are no restrictions there. No meter, no. I mean, rhymes also should be there, but they should be spontaneous. I feel you
Yes.
shouldn't
Yeah.
force rhymes. Rhymes should be spontaneous. So I prefer free verse. And one thing I wouldn't like to write is sonnets. Sonnets I find a very difficult form. They have
Hmm.
very strict rules, and they have the Petrarchan sonnet and the Shakespearean sonnet and the Wordsworthian sonnet. They're very different kinds of sonnets. So, sonnet form I feel is the most difficult, but there are many beautiful sonnets in the English language. I love
Yeah.
Correct.
reading them, but I don't want to write them.
Okay. Coming to you, Lakshmi.
Yes. I think, like the other said, free verse is definitely hands down. It's a winner. But sometimes I like to explore haiku as a favorite style because you have to express a lot of your emotions in those 17 syllables. That's I can say it's like a challenge, and then you also begin to think or express a lot in very little words. So that's the kind of challenge I really like to take up. So haiku definitely happens to be one of my favorites. Of course, the free verse also goes hand in hand. And there are many types of poetry versions that I have never explored. Probably because I was not into technical poetry writing per se before I came into or I was introduced to these platforms. So I'm still learning a lot of these, new forms of poetry. And of course, in school, I have read a lot of poetry. But most of my poetries are inspired by nature, love, uh, the environment, caring for it, and those specific. So I do not like to explore too much where there will be too many restrictions on like the syllable count or the technicalities, or that restricts my uh, ideas from flowing through. So I wouldn't
Creativity.
probably want to explore that.
Yeah.
But I may give it a try, but then I wouldn't be really satisfied because I have tried, those technical kind of poems. I haven't been really satisfied with the outcome because when you write, it sometimes so happens that, they would specify that it should be non-rhyming, but the words may
Non-rhyme.
come in that, the words that match there would be rhyming by default. So
Yeah.
if you have to replace it with another word, it will sound very technical. And I don't really like that. That replacement word doesn't really fit that profile sometimes. So it happens, but I think we're all exploring and learning. And I
Learning.
have been blessed with beautiful writers who keep, critiquing my work, and that's a wonderful thing. And when you receive positive feedback, I call that critique. And yes, it is very important to improve and just go ahead with whatever you're doing. Yes, thank you.
So Preeti, you have also been doing a lot of writing of late. So what are your
Yeah.
favorite genres of writing?
Yay to freestyle writing. We all are freestyle lovers here.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
good.
because
That's
there are
good.
no limitations, you can boundlessly write. You actually experience your poem, and yes,
True.
nobody is going to restrict you. And when you experience your poem, you are very connected to it, and yeah, it is very natural. It comes naturally. So yes, I love writing freestyle. And uh, other I don't like prose poetry and narratives and all. Within restrictions I cannot write. Yes, I don't feel that connect actually. uh, that's why. So yeah, freestyle. Cheers to freestyle.
Sheena, can I say one
And
word over here, please? Just
yeah, please, ma'am.
yeah, see,
Hello,
I'm not undermining the technicalities
can
of
you hear me,
poetry when I
Dr.
said
Sheena?
that.
Yes, I can hear you.
Huh. So it's only that, I mean, definitely, those people who have the literature background and who are very well read and who know the technicalities and all, probably it's very easy for them. People like me, I would say over here, yes, I'll be lost in those calculations and countings and all. That was what I'm not undermining
Yeah,
any of
yeah,
those
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure,
format
sure. I know there are great
genre of
odes and
poetry
great
there.
sonnets and great ballads written by
Yeah,
great writers. But
yeah,
for that, you need a lot of practice
correct,
in writing
Practice.
poetry.
correct.
Practice in writing poetry of that kind. And we are used to free verse.
Yes.
Hmm.
I think 20th century, the free verse style of writing became more and more popular.
True.
With the advent of T.S. Eliot, free verse became more and more popular.
It's actually pouring out your heart on the paper.
Yeah.
Pouring
Yes.
out a piece of your soul on the paper. So you can go in the free verse, you can easily do that.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. The flow of
Agree.
creativity is there. Otherwise, creativity, it's restricted.
Agree. Agree.
True, man.
I would now like all of you to kindly read one of your favorite poems that you've written on the StoryScrapers platforms. Any poem that you have loved writing for us, because we love each of your work. But now we would want you to read out one of your favorite works. Here. We'll start with you, Vasudha ma'am.
Yeah, sure, sure. So many poems I love on StoryScrapers, which I've written for StoryScrapers. But I would like to read two short poems. Is that okay?
Yes,
Two
ma'am.
very short
Perfectly.
poems. Yeah. Recently, I wrote a poem on friendship. The theme was friendship. And my poem goes like this. One friend is enough to confide and unburden yourself. One friend can be your philosopher and guide. One friend is enough for fun and gossip, to make you feel warm and wonderful, to make you happy and cheerful. One friend is enough to make you stronger when you're ill and depressed. One friend is enough to fill you with laughter. One friend is enough to share your deepest feelings, to share everything you can't tell others. One friend is enough for loving and caring. One friend is all you need in this long journey called life. This is one of my
Wow.
favorite poems.
Very true.
Beautiful.
So lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know having too many friends also can be a burden. So one friend I think is quite enough.
Yeah.
And can I read one more poem, which is a favorite of
Yes,
mine?
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, please, you're
Yeah.
welcome, ma'am.
Another poem which I really like and I really believe in is Little Pleasures. I feel little pleasures are very important in life. Enjoy every moment and the little pleasures of life. Give up the pursuit of wealth. Forget the struggle and strife. Live in the present moment. Don't brood over the past. Don't worry about the future. Enjoy the present. It will not last.
Lovely.
Find joy in the sunrise. Find pleasure in your cup of coffee. Love the trees, the flowing breeze. Forever happy you will be. Find joy in reading. Discover the bliss of writing. Enjoy the serenity of music. Enjoy some cinema. Fantastic. Discover happiness in little things. Discover the contentment they bring. Enjoy the everyday pleasures. They are the greatest treasures. Thank you.
Wow. Lovely.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Lovely.
Beyond
Thank you.
words.
I think all of us
Great
know
pleasure
that
listening to ma'am.
these are
Yeah.
the pleasures which make life really happy.
And it was a
True,
great
ma'am.
pleasure listening to you.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, Shakuntala ma'am, please go forward with your favorite poem.
Yeah. Can I read what was posted today in StoryScrapers? Karma. The results had come
Ma'am.
out. Can I read that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes,
love
ma'am.
the
Welcome.
word. I love the word karma, and I love this the topic very much. This karma, which is wrapped around us, our very existence
Yeah,
is nothing
yeah,
but
correct,
karma.
correct. Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
so I'll just read that. Every action begets a reaction. Every deed propels an instigation. Every moment induces a sequence. Every gesture spawns a consequence. Love, longing, and affection, hate, malice, and deception, good times and bad times, hard hit or bonanza chimes, all are karma's boomerang throw, reaping in jubilation or brooding in sorrow, pendulating expressions racing to and fro, rendering the mind to an excited tempo, where negative and positive vibes return to ricochet, to ride or deride, away of return to ricochet, to ride or deride, a way of existence is karma, cyclic actions of bliss or trauma, seeds of our own thoughts playing truant, karma, bringing the fruits of our actions instant. That's about
So,
karma.
so
Thank you.
great.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful,
Thank you.
beautiful.
Beautifully written, ma'am.
Thank you.
Lakshmi, coming to you.
Well, I have chosen my favorite poem from StoryScrapers as Karma as well, because that is one topic which we all have to come back to. So,
Yeah.
I strongly believe in karma, and it's a topic very close to my heart. So, I consciously make efforts to ensure that every action I do should never hurt anyone. So, I'm very conscious and particular about that. So, here's my take on karma. Whatever goes around comes around. The deeds of my life I read, I preserve, and play every action with a thoughtful act. For every feat I perform will earn the gift in its appropriate form, good for my good and evil for my evil. I recreate with utmost care and leave a mark prominent through my actions, deeds, and words, touching heart and all of life, include the divine creation, mankind, nature, and the cosmos, to balance my soul and liberate my form towards where it truly belongs. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Wow. Beautiful.
Very well done.
Lovely.
Preeti?
Yes. And I am also reading the most recent one, Karma.
Karma has brought us all here
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Even I thought of reading my
That's-
poem on
that's-
karma.
Oh, wow.
But then I thought it was a little serious. So I thought, let me read
Okay.
something else.
Okay. Okay.
But
The
ma'am has
title
said-
is Karma is an all-rounder. Karma, the eternal cycle, is an all-rounder in expression of our thoughts and emotions, in our qualities, in our responsibilities. It reflects in our every action. It reflects in our every action. It is in good, it is in bad, it is in happiness, it is in sadness. It is in doing for the self, it is in doing for others. It is with time, it is the timeless. It is with time, it is the timeless. It is the very essence of life and the reality of everything. It is the very essence of life and the reality of everything. It is the freedom, it is the entanglement. It is the freedom, it is the entanglement. It is a continuous happening between internal and external world. It is a continuous happening between the internal and external world. As the inspiring and uplifting, it is the will, it is the power. It is the will, it is the power, as it is the very life's energy. It is the very life's energy. Thank you.
Beautiful words, Preeti.
Wonderful,
Lovely.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Like to say it was my good karma to be in such elite company of
Oh
such
my God.
brilliant writers.
Same
I
here, same
had
here.
such good karma.
Oh, same
So it
here.
was so wonderful talking to you all. I would
Yes.
just implore that you keep
We
writing on our
all
platform.
boosted our karma. We all boosted our karma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Mm.
So please keep writing, and keep shining here. We'll be back soon with another episode where we bring back to you some more of our creative writers who have been writing consistently with us. Till then, I say goodbye to all of you and namaskar once again. And thank you so much for joining us. And it was a wonderful
Thanks
evening.
for inviting. Thanks.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Thank you,
so much.
Story
Thank you
Loved,
so much.
Thank
It
you,
was a
loved
Story
wonderful
interacting
Scrapers.
with
session.
each other.
Thank you
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
Thank you all.
Meeting all of you whom we have just,
Yes,
interacted with on Facebook. It was so
Mm.
nice to meet all of you.
Yeah. Thank you,
It was
yes,
a
Story
virtual
Scrapers.
meet
absolutely.
very soon. We are hoping to come for a live one-on-one meet.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Story
Great.
Scrapers, so much. It
Such
was
a
a lovely
poetic
session.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Dr. Sheena Gupta.
Thank you,
Okay,
Dr.
thank
Have a
Sheena.
you.
wonderful day. Thank you, everybody.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you, sir.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
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 Bye bye.